Okay, straight on into histograms. So we'll talk about the pluses and minuses as we go too. So I made this chart of a bunch of different things. You can really only do a histogram of any two things. So if I'm making a frequency histogram, that's the bins and the frequency. So I'll show you what a frequency histogram looks like. It looks like this. So I had to draw in some labels. I was supposed to have a 5 there. Actually, I'll just put it down here. See, the bars always touch in a histogram. It's important. They always touch. It tracks how many is in each category. You can see the frequency is on the y-axis and the categories at the bottom. And you don't have to show the little number at the top. This is just a program that I used to help do it, but I forgot to put the axis, of course. So yeah, frequency histogram shows just all the numbers added up. A cumulative frequency is, sorry, it doesn't show all the numbers up, it shows each number separately. Cumulative frequency, shows each one added up. So if the 0 through 9 category is both 2, but the second category is 2 plus 5, so that was 7. The third category is 2 plus 5 plus 7, so that's 14. So it never gets smaller because you're just adding everything before it. So cumulative frequency histograms always get bigger. A relative frequency histogram, the percents, they actually look almost the same because it's the same percent as the number is. So the proportion 0.035 out of 1 is the same as 2 out of 57. So those two columns are going to be the same size. So they look almost the same size, they're just in percents instead of single numbers. Cumulative relative frequencies, it's the same thing, it's just adding each column up. Each one is everything before it added up. So the 0 through 9 is the same, 10 through 19 is those two added up, is the first two columns added up. The third column is all three of the relative ones added up. And it just keeps going. Again, because it's everything before it added up, it never goes down. So that's what histograms look like. Histograms are awesome for a couple things. We'll do the plus minus list right now. So the plus, they are good for lots of numbers. You can have as many numbers as you want in those bins, and it doesn't show it on the graph, but the graph can handle it. Another plus is you can see the shape really easy. Most people use histograms for seeing the shape. A third plus is you can make the bin widths as much as you want or as little as you want, so you have, what's the word? Not diversity. You have freedom. It's lots of freedom. And you can make them relatively quickly. Some of the downsides though, so the upsides, they're good for lots of numbers and you can see the shape. This is like the only graph that can do those two things. So I know it's a little harder to make, but you can use it for those two things. But with this histogram comes downsides. You actually can't see the individual numbers. If I don't have my actual data sheet up here that tells me how many there are, like this doesn't even tell me. I don't know what age those two people are. I just know they're somewhere between 0 and 9. Same thing here. I don't know what age those two people are. I just know they're somewhere between 0 and 9. Those 13 are somewhere between 30 and 39. So not seeing the numbers means you cannot see the summary statistics. You can't find a median. You can't find a mean. You can't find an exact range. You can get close, somewhere between 0 and 89, but I don't know if it's like 9 through 81, or maybe it's 1 through 85. I don't know, because you can't see the individual points per bar. So it comes with a few downsides. You also can't see how many data points there are. I should put it on the plus side. This also is for quantitative data. It looks like a bar graph. It's not a bar graph. But yeah, so you can't see how many data points. There could be actually you can. You can tell how many there are. That's a lie. You just look at the frequency. Ignore that. But yeah, those two downsides actually make a big difference because you can't find certain things you want. But they're good for estimating and seeing shape and things like that. So there's the spiel on histograms. Ask me a question if you have any.